According to United Nations estimates, there are 677 million children under the age of 5, representing 9% of the world's population. However, it's relatively recent that governance has been concerned with the importance of early childcare. Those first 5 years of the life of human beings and even prenatal care are fundamental for skills and capacities formation. The first historical milestone of early childcare can be dated back to 1837 when the German Friedrich Froebel founded the first kindergarten for children. That is why in many languages, early childcare centers are called with this German word, Kindergarten. Froebel's methodology was around games, which at the time was quite disruptive compared to the standards of mainstream education. 100 years later, in 1936, the Swiss John Piaget, with his theory on cognitive development, completely revolutionized our understanding of the nature of human intelligence. Later, in 1962, a seminal experiment was done in Ypsilanti, Michigan, known as the Perry School Project. 2 groups of children were taken in their early childhood. The treatment group was given early childcare, and the control group was not. The participants were tracked for several years, even decades, looking at the program's impact. In the end, the evaluators established that for every dollar invested in the project, $16 were recovered in terms of human capital. Since then, the incredible return of investing in early childcare has been widely accepted. In 1990, the international community placed early childcare at the center of the governance agenda, at the World Summit for Children in New York, where 71 heads of state decided that they would give every child in the world a better future. In 2010, the first World Conference on Early Childhood Care and Education, led by UNESCO, was held in Moscow, where the relevance of early childcare was further strengthened, and guidelines to increase its impact were recommended. The Sustainable Development Goals devote Target 4.2 to early childcare, establishing that, by 2030, ensure that all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development, care, and pre-primary education so that they are ready for primary education. To monitor this goal, UNICEF has developed the Early Child Development Index, evaluating, in literacy and numeracy, the child's ability to recognize letters and numbers, physically, health and ability to grasp objects, socio-emotionally, the relationship with other children and their level of attention, and in learning, the child's ability to follow instructions and their independence. In the governance book, the results of this index are analyzed, so if you want to delve into the subject, we invite you to take a look. The World Bank's 2019 Development Report addresses the changing nature of work and identifies early childhood development programs as one of the most effective ways to equip children with the skills they will need to succeed in future job markets. They estimate that the most effective way to acquire the skills demanded by the changing nature of work is to start early. During this period, the brain's ability to learn from experience is at its highest level. If this window is missed, building skills become harder. Some of the conceptualization of childcare governance comes from the work of the Nobel laureate James Heckman. He proposes the now very popular Heckman Curve, which we see in the graph. The horizontal axis measures the amount of education and care across the lifetime, starting with prenatal care and going as far as post-university. On the vertical axis, the rate of return on investment is measured. He proved that this rate decreases with age, which means it is higher the younger we are. Because in our first 5 years of life, our brain forms the largest number of neural synapses, and they begin to decrease after this age. Therefore, education and care start to lose profitability. The historical perspective of early childcare governance can be assessed with preschool enrollment. In the series we have the data since 1970 and we find great news, because it went from 15% of average preschool enrollment in the world to 60%.